you want to put together a timeline?
Did I put anything, did I say any personal attacks?
I think you said the chief lied.
And you are making accusations.
He did lie.
Well, I see. Just be careful with that. You just want to talk about things that you know, like the board to be aware of. I think that's fine.
Okay, then he messed up. Let's say the things where he messed up. We can call, you know how like
Well, don't waste your time explaining.
absolutely not. But what I'm saying is, given the fact that Sean was called into the DA's office prior to that, and this came out, this should have went directly to the DA's office. It should not have been handled in-house whatsoever. But no, what do? We keep it in-house. Then we hire a Mr. Bernardo, who's from Cecil Township, and Cipher, no independent auditor, but Cipher, who already did our stuff here, and who already has shown, to me anyways, in my opinion, that they didn't catch things.
You're 2.5 minutes are up here, so go ahead and wrap.
One more. As if that, oh, okay, I'll let Dave go.
Okay.
Do you want to?
Number one, originally, I'm the one that took this to the DA's office in January. At that time in February, the captain was called to the DA's office.
Dave, I want to ask you a question about that real quick, though. You knew about it in January and it didn't come to the supervisors. Who told you?
I'm getting to that. I'll read it. At that time, in February, the captain gets called to the DA's office and states he knows nothing missing, which is fine. I do not let up, and I called the FBI and Attorney General's office and finally got to the state police to start the investigation. The DA's office closed the investigation when he left. I kept it up. First I went back to the DA's office and argued with them. I kept it up. I got the state police, Dave Baer, involved in this and got to where we're at now. As we all saw in the headlines recently, Pushak was arrested. The then captain is now the chief. I am asking that anyone who knew about this before me to resign tonight. In addition, the present chief, who was then captain, and the manager who found the wrongdoing of Pushak after the captain was called to the DA's office, chose to go to the supervisors instead of the DA. For this, they should resign. Number one, if no one resigns tonight, I will be back next month with my attorney to file wrongful doing against everyone who knew about this and did nothing. Also, Pushak and Bickley need off the insurance tonight, if it's COBRA or whatever, for the gross misconduct. That's the truth, and it has to be.
Now, the question
Dave,
is, are we doing the forensic audit? That's
And I will be back next month with my attorney. 'Cause
I would like you to explain to everybody what you mean by forensic audit.
Okay.
Just give us a quick idea of what you're saying.
There are two type audits. There's a forensic audit and a financial audit. A forensic accounting is a specialized branch of accounting that requires training in fraud detection. A forensic auditor examines a company's or township's system of internal controls to identify any weakness in the controls designed to safeguard assets and to determine whether anyone in the company or township has exploited control weaknesses or misappropriated assets for personal gain. That's a forensic audit. Here's why we need a forensic. Let me finish this and you get a little more clear why we need a forensic audit.
All right, hurry up there.
Well, you asked the question, Danny, so I'm answering it. If you don't know what it is, this is the
I do
definition.
know what it is, but go ahead.
So why'd you ask the
Yes,
question?
because I want everybody to realize what you're asking for.
Well, exactly. Now, let me just put this scenario out for you. A financial statement audit will usually not discover asset theft fraud because the objective of a financial statement audit is to determine whether the financial statements fairly represent the company's or the township's financial position. For example, if an employee sets up a dummy vendor account to siphon money off of the township or company into his own account, the company's books will reflect this cash payment. Even though the transaction is fraudulent, the company's financial statements will accurately reflect this transaction. and the deception of the money being funneled into the private account will not be caught by a regular audit. It needs to be a forensic audit.
Can I ask a question from a
Sure.
perspective? You're saying that it needs to be a forensic audit. In most cases, or almost in all cases, a forensic audit is done because fraud has been caught. That audit would have been done by the
Is this
state.
done because what?
Because fraud has been either detected or already found, so they need to get more details behind it.
Or suspected.
So that's what I was gonna ask you.
Okay.
So we.
You're asking me, am I suspecting it?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there a specific accusation, and if so, why are you coming to us and asking for a forensic audit? Why are you not going to the district attorney or going to some sort of, because as far as, and I can only speak for myself, I don't know of any fraud
Oh, you don't?
right now.
What John Pushak did, what would you call
That's a
that?
totally separate issue as far as I'm concerned.
Okay,
That's
now
maybe-
Cindy, are you 100% sure what he did was the only thing that ever happened in this township, let's say within the past 5 years, that would constitute fraud or theft or any kind of deception as far as financial statements goes, money accounts, anything?
As far as John Pushak goes, or?
No, I'm saying, would you say that he was the only one that did this, and can you 100% sit there and tell me that there was nothing else
I have
happening?
no indication at this point that there's fraud by anybody.
And that's why you do have the auditor go through, and he goes through and looks at everything.
No, he doesn't.
Yes,
I just
they
read
review
you
the
the difference between I was here for the audits with Cipher and Cipher. First of all, I read you the difference between a financial audit and a forensic audit. We had a petition with, I don't know how many signatures for a forensic audit. What are we hiding here in this township? That's what I'm asking.
Anything, you're making an accusation.
No, I'm not making any accusations. I'm a taxpayer. My taxpayer money goes into your coffers. I am asking for a forensic audit.
Do you?
Ian, we've had
So-
17,000 missing in the past.
We had 17,000.
Yes, we have.
In the past.
In the past. We're not going to bring it up, but we know
We
about
had
it.
the chief that has a gambling problem prior to, let's say,
Okay.
okay, got married in
You're getting
2011,
into
got
personal,
married.
Dave, that's enough, you can't go into personal stuff.
I'm just saying, got married in a vital law
You
space.
can't go into that
So
stuff
you
right
paid
now.
for it.
The bottom line is, are we going to have a forensic audit?
That's it.
I think what they're saying, Cindy, is we have detected fraud. There has been someone that had access to the accounts. He has been charged and arrested. And this has nothing to do with Mr. Januso, but it's known now.
Well, I'm not accusing you.
No, when he was gone, you know where I'm going. When he's gone, he takes vacation, he takes time off. Who was in that office, who was running this township, and who was in those books? Mr. Pushak. Everybody knows that. That's why we need a forensic.
He wrote a check, I came up with the meeting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the ability to write a check.
And that's what I'm
That's
saying.
why be very careful with what you're saying.
I didn't
It
say.
came up with a
I
meeting.
didn't say-
Yeah, exactly. Everything I say tonight was either in the paper or
Yeah,
fax.
that was in the meeting when that happened with
Eddie?
that thing. You were gone, you weren't there.
For your purposes, I'm not certain you were at the meeting, but there were almost 700 signatures presented a couple of months ago,
There we
but
go.
they were, no one,
Does that mean nothing to this board? 700 citizens?
it means something to me, but I'll
Means something to me too.
I would say it doesn't mean nothing, but I think that what you're asking for is not what you actually want. You want an
Nope.
investigation.
I know what I want, Cindy. I just read you the
And
definition.
I listen to you, can I say something?
Sure.
You want an investigation because you have accusations of fraud.
I didn't,
So there aren't even
I didn't say accusations,
accusations.
I said
He was
suspicions.
charged,
I never said accusations.
Who was charged?
Mr. Pushak.
I did not say accusations. I am not accusing
On that,
anyone.
other than to say that the state police have already investigated that. We don't want to waste taxpayer money re-investigating something the state police have already investigated. Mr. Bradwell said he went to the state police and FBI himself, they did an investigation.
wait,
We haven't
wait,
even
Cindy,
seen
that's
that
not quite
So,
accurate.
so what the state police uncovered is fine. What else can we uncover?
That's not quite accurate, what you said, Cindy. They did not do an audit of all the records of the township. They simply audited that you alluded.
If
We
I
tried to
did
get the
it,
DA's office to
That it
audit
was
the forensic, the evidence room, The supervisors
We've had
voted,
everything audited in the township.
the
Not forensic, but
supervisors
we've had
voted
everything
to
covered.
let in-house audit the evidence room and not pay the $20 an hour for the 3 DAs that were gonna come down here and investigate.
That's
Yeah.
not true.
That is
That
the
is-
truth.
I'll
Was
tell
that a
you,
meeting?
Dave, hold on a second now. The district attorney's office decided not to. They oversaw the whole process. They were there, they gave advice, and everything was turned over to the district attorney's office. It was not on the board's decision, it was on the district attorney's office decision. And that's a fact. The other fact is, and I'd like to talk, that was a made-up story that you guys made up about me going up to the district attorney's office. There is no truth to that story about money being taken out of the evidence room and him coming to me and paying it back, and Kim could vouch for that, because we've talked about this before. He came forward after all that was going on. The township stepped up after he came to us, and we did the right thing, and also notified the district attorney. So what you're trying to tell me is that that was truth, whether he turned himself in or decided to do that, we did the right thing and it was done in a timely manner. The upset thing is that this keeps getting brought up about me coming up to the district attorney's office and me not knowing anything. That particular story had nothing to do with that federal account. I had no knowledge about it. I was never involved in the evidence room. I've told you guys this over and over again. We can vouch for me on this. It's the truth.
Sean, we are not accusing you of knowing anything. What we are saying
You're asking
is,
me to resign.
You were active, you got called to the DA's office and said nothing was going on.
About the evidence room and that story, it was made up.
Okay, you got called
You're
there.
right.
It was made
You
up.
come back, it was already at the DA's office.
And there was nothing
Nothing
said.
was-
The board
nothing
myself
was
knew nothing about this whole
done.
case.
You knew nothing about it.
He came
Yes, I
forward
know
to us
that.
on
I
February.
know
Hold on,
14th. I say that.
That's enough right now, okay? We're not gonna have yelling back and forth.
I
It's
say
gonna
that
be
every
kept
time, that you knew nothing.
No.
And they dropped it, they closed the case.
Okay,
Then you come back. And if he admitted it, or if you got with the township manager, that's when you were already at the DA's office. It should have went back to the DA's office. It should have been.
They were notified.
That's our
The
opinion.
township notified
Do you
the
have anything
DA.
else to bring up or
The
not?
board
Hold on.
let them.
That they notified the DA after.
The only person John notified was the tech.
We're done now, okay. Do you have anything else to bring up?
yeah, actually, I have one question. So the township notified the DA, is that what we're saying?
Let me
Who
clear,
did we notify, Vitom?
and let me clear something up real quick. Just a little bit of facts here, and I don't want to get too far into this because it is an open criminal case. The disconnect here, maybe what you don't know, and I think it's important because it's that Don had to go and pull statements that he didn't have. He pulled the statements the same day, that evening. Sean, Don, and Tom came to my house about 8, 9, 10 at night.
11 o'clock, close till, yeah, 7, 8.
By 9 o'clock the next morning, we had what I would call an emergency supervisor meeting in my office. The chief was removed, Tom, I forget, by 10 or 11, we were down here.
We had a meeting the next morning, John.
Well,
That's
very-
when I first found out.
Within probably 10 hours, he was removed. By 1 o'clock that afternoon, I was at the DA's office meeting with Patone over what happened. And that's, now the rest of it, Dave, what you did to make it keep going, all the township did was remove him so there could be no issue with whether there was anything tampered with, for both protections, for ours and for the chief's. And we alerted the DA, we took the chief's keys, locked them out of here, removed them. The DA took the investigation at that point. We hired Mr. Bonato and Cipher, both of whom I believe were interviewed by the state police, I'm pretty sure, and which led ultimately to the arrest. So the township moved, we really, at least the supervisors, and when the manager got the information, I don't usually entertain guests from the township at my home at 10 o'clock at night. And I remember Tom getting on the phone, we scheduled everybody within,
We came in at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, it was pretty early.
9
And it
o'clock.
was unanimous that the board voted to, Tom and I came down and told the chief he was removed, and he's never been back in this place in the township again, in this building. Maybe he was for an interview, but
And that's basically when it was handed over to the DA and the state